Hello! Today in The Sims 4 we are going to be building a house where each room is a different gnome. So because some of the promotions for Enchanted by Nature seem to focus heavily on gnomes, I thought why not make a house where each room is going to be themed after a different Sims 4 gnome. Yeah, let's go for it I guess. So I've got all the gnomes out here that I have in my game. I don't have every single pack. I think there's also a werewolf gnome. There might be a couple more that I'm missing, but these are the ones that I have. It's still quite a few. I've got 17. A 17-room house is going to be way too big and not really fun. So what I'm thinking is that some of them will go outside, like we have the poolside gnome with the little lifesaver thing, so that can go in like a pool area. And the Grim Reaper gnome, I'm a very creative person. You'll never guess what I'm going to do with that one. You'll be so shocked when I get to it. So yeah, there's some that have kind of an outdoor theme already to them. I just pulled out an item to remind me which room I'm going to do for each gnome. This is going to have to be a pretty big house because I do have quite a few rooms that have to go on the inside. For the exterior, I'm thinking kind of a barnish look, and then I want these round roofs. We'll make them red to represent the little gnome hats. Love it. Doesn't this just look like a giant gnome? I think because this house is so big, having it be all white is a little much, so I'm just gonna add some wood paneling to a couple of these bump outs here. And then over here, I'm just going to add an area for a pool. I like the way this is looking. So now we can start on the inside. We have this little sunflower gnome from Cottage Living. So I'm going to do a cottage living-esque living room. I'm going to include as many gnome references and items as I possibly can. There's a few swatches of random items in The Sims that have gnomes on them. It's kind of like, one of the icons of the game, like the cow plant or aliens or the freezer bunnies. I do feel like I do cottage living a lot, so I'm going to try this. Is this a pastel pop, I think? I'm going to try this rug. Oh, I like the rug and I like that it has the flowers on it, but it doesn't really match the wallpaper. And I really like the wallpaper. So I'm just kind of going with greens and yellows here because of the yellow flowers. Ooh, I really like this pastel pop shelf, but I think this one from the Secret Sanctuary kit looks a little bit better with this style. That's good to know. I just got the pastel pop kit, so now I know that that shelf has some cool swatches that aren't as cheesy as the main one when you first look at it. Adding sunflowers wherever I can. And then of course in each room, the gnome will also be in there. So we'll put him right by the door. First thing you see, okay, not really, but right there when you walk in. Looking good so far. I like these framed TVs, and I think we have one with a flower. Yeah, ooh, look at that, the yellow flowers on the TV. Oh, this little plaything for babies has a gnome. Perfect. Yay. We're going to have babies, or a baby, because we just need more rooms. So there are going to be kids in this house. But look, there's a little gnome on the mobile. What do you call this thing? I can't remember, but this little playmat with the mobile, it has a gnome on it. That's so perfect. This is from the Storybook Nursery kit. I love that. Anything that has a little hidden gnome, I hope I find them all. Probably not. We'll put a little toy chest and a dollhouse down here too. We'll add some pillows. I did change the rug, I just couldn't do it. And this lamp has some yellow flowers on it, so there we go. That's actually a base game lamp. Oh, we can add this bunny because it has a little sunflower too. So there we have it. That's our sunflower gnome themed living room. I really like the way that looks. We have a couple gnomes that don't really have a theme, so what I'm thinking for these ones is we just do them in the hallways, and what I'm going to do is use their colors. So it's really just going to be the teal, red, white color scheme. So we have this one with a little tray. We have the just average normal one, and then we have the mustache one that just don't really have a theme, so I don't really know what else to do with them, but we'll just kind of make it their color scheme, and then we'll of course include the gnomes in here. So for our entryway, we already have the white and red door. We've matched this teal wall to their shirts perfectly. Oh, that's nice. If you slide this shoe rack in here, it fits perfectly and looks like the shoes are just on 2 levels. That's a fun little hack I just learned. We have some red clothes that will look nice, or at least give us the gnome look. I use this debug handbag from Cottage Living. It's Agnes Crumplebottom's bag. I use it in every build. I should try not to someday. So I kind of like this tray one for the entryway, and I'm thinking we can put like the keys and phone on it from the clutter kit. And then it's like a little like, here's where you set your keys when you come home. Then we have this other gnome that I'm not quite sure what to do with, so I'm thinking about just making a little gnome closet. Let's size him up a little bit. Let's see. Oh, perfect. Look at that creepy old gnome, creepy giant gnome in the closet. So I know there is a gnome painting in the businesses and hobbies. There it is. So we have this, it's like graffiti looking, like a wall art thing. But we have the gnomes here. Perfect for the entryway. As soon as you walk in, you know what this house is about when you go in. You're like, wow, these people really like gnomes. Or is this a house for the gnomes? I'm not really sure. We'll just add some entryway plants here. And there we go. There's our normal gnome entryway, I guess. All right, moving over to the kitchen. We're gonna have a big kitchen. I'm gonna go with this bunny gnome. And what I was thinking for this room is that we can make like a pink bunny kitchen, which is, I've never done a pink kitchen, so this will be interesting. We do have the red hat, so I'm gonna include some reds here and there. I love these red cabinets from Cottage Living, but I'm trying not to do Cottage Living for everything. I'm sizing the bunny up just to look in his basket. Okay, so there are Easter eggs in the basket, so I can include some like Easter egg kind of things too. All right, I'm gonna go with the country kitchen kit. Is that what it's called? Yeah, okay, I'm gonna use not Cottage Living, I'm gonna use the country kitchen counters. I don't like that they're really worn looking, but I think we can make it work. And I was gonna use the Cottage Living wallpaper too, but look at this pink gingham wallpaper. This is from Base Game. Different vibe, but I really like it. So we're gonna go with it. Oh, the fridge, the new fridge from the kitchen clutter kit has a gnome on it. Perfect. I love, I'm gonna get really excited every time there's a little gnome somewhere that I didn't know there was a gnome. All right, looking at our pink and red stoves, I like this one. And then I'm just adding lots of pink accessories and bunnies. We'll use the creepy Base Game bunny toy. That's really ugly. And then we'll add any wall art that has bunnies or gnomes. So we do have from Seasons this, I don't know what you call it, this like display of gnome pictures or cards, whatever that is. Okay, I am gonna use the Cottage Living rug because it's pink and it has bunnies. So you got to give me that. Like I have to use it if it's pink and it has bunnies on it. I can't help that. And then I'm gonna use this wall art that may also be from Cottage Living. Sorry. And this picture, okay, they have a lot of bunnies in Cottage Living. Now I'm just adding pink stuff everywhere, pink pitcher, pink canisters, pink teapot, pink and red. I'm gonna put this love seat over here. Ooh, this shelf from the country kitchen kit is really nice too. We can put our big ugly bunny up here. Now for some curtains that will add a little more red to this. If we size these down, they fit these windows pretty nicely. And I put these stools down, but I really don't like them now, so let's try something different. I kind of like these ones. I think those look good when I have a few of them in there. And then in this corner, we'll just put this little cart with the flowers on it. We'll add some red flowers by the door. And then we'll put some Easter eggs around since he does have a little Easter basket. We'll use our little plants from the kitchen clutter kit. And we'll do a little fiddly fig by the door. And that is our bunny gnome kitchen. There we go. Oh, it's so cute. I love the pink. I feel like I need to make this just a little bit longer to kind of enclose the kitchen area there. Okay, I like that better. Perfect. I love it. Okay, let's go ahead and do our dining room. This is going to be this like captain themed gnome. Okay, my deepest apologies. I will show you the dining room on a tour at the end. My game crashed. Everything I did was not saved. Then when I tried to fix the dining room, do it again, I didn't record it. So my apologies. We will take a look at that at the end though. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the hallway here, which I forgot that I needed a way to get to these rooms back here. I had to take away my creepy gnome closet. Now we have a creepy gnome hallway. So we're just continuing that like normal gnome theme colors, just that teal blue and red, and then I've just added some wall art. So over here we have these ceramic gnomes from the Businesses and Hobbies pack. So what I'm thinking over here is we're gonna have a pottery studio where the Sims can make all these gnomes. They can just keep them coming. No limit to the amount of gnomes that this house can have. I kind of like this shelf from the greenhouse kit or the Bloomin' Rooms kit for something like this, like crafty. So it's not like a nice wooden shelf. It's more of an industrial or like a garage type shelf. And then maybe we have a table down here for ones that we're working on. So we've got the pottery wheel, we've got some storage space for the gnomes that are either in progress or finished. Perfect. And then we have our kiln nestled over here in the corner. I'm just gonna go with a gray wall, nothing fancy. It's like maybe an unfinished room. And I'm gonna add some wall damage because it is a pottery studio. We have got the kiln right there. I think there would be some damage somewhere. Then we can use this tarp with like paint on it. Lovely. I love this. This is a quick, easy little room. Got space to make our gnomes. Now, we have a pixelated gnome. So what I'm gonna do is make a nude pixelated themed bathroom, because that's the room where the Sims are the most pixelated, right? So what I'm thinking for this room is skin tones, boxy squares, right? I should be an interior decorator. So I've got this square light, we've got a square sink, we're gonna use a boxy bathtub. And then I'm thinking instead of just like a plain colored wall, I think we have a tile that actually kind of looks like the pixel. Oh, look at this tile. Look at this tile that looks literally like pixels. Oh my gosh, that is perfect. Maybe we'll use a darker wall and then we can use a lighter floor. So we're representing multiple skin tones here. That looks so perfect for what I was going for. There's our pixelated naked gnome themed bathroom. I bet you never thought you would hear that sentence said. All right, moving on. We're going over to this room over here. I put in a secret bookcase door in the dining room. And then behind it, we're gonna have an office. This is our business gnome. I have a confession for the first few rooms. I did not realize you could change the colors of these gnomes. I don't know why I didn't even think to try it. I just plopped them down and was like, well, it is what it is. They're all teal with red hats or... So this one, I did change the color. So we're going with his gray suit and his blue hat so we can add some blue instead of red. So this is going to be like very serious office. No whimsy, except for the gnome. We got work to do. So we have our laptop. We have our desk, which is technically whimsical because it's from the Comfy Gamer kit, but our business gnome doesn't need to know that. I love this stack of stuff from the Refined Living Room kit. We'll have a very serious plant. Very serious wall art from the Refined Living Room kit as well. I don't know, I just assume he's serious. I guess he could be a fun, whimsical business gnome, but I don't think he is. We'll have our Refined Living Room couch. I love these glass end tables. And then he's carrying a suitcase that's like busting at the seams with cash, so I'm gonna put this duffel of cash here. And then we also have a briefcase that if I can find it, I'll put in there. I have no idea where it is though, jeez. Let's add some pillows. We can add some blue in here to match his little hat. We'll have a phone in here, even though nobody would use that phone anymore. Ooh, we can have the little like glasses and watch tray. Ooh, this globe is nice. I've never even seen that. Oh my gosh. That's from City Living. Oh, here it is. Okay, here's our suitcase, and it is the suitcase bursting with cash. We'll still have the duffel of cash in here too, but the suitcase is literally what he's holding, so we'll have that in here for sure. Ooh, let's use this rug that's kind of this like marbly look, and we have the black and silver and blue, which is perfect for our color scheme. And there is our business gnome office. Perfect for doing business with gnomes. I don't know, maybe. Maybe they're in the business of selling gnomes because they have the pottery wheel. Okay, so this gnome has mushrooms. So what I'm gonna do here, I pulled out these mushrooms from debug when I was doing some debug stuff earlier because I want to like scatter them around the room. But I'm gonna make this our master bedroom, and we're just gonna fill it with mushrooms. It's gonna be a mushroom themed bedroom. Ooh, we do have this wallpaper that's really nice and foresty, and then we have this bed that has the forest on it. But I am trying not to use cottage living for everything in this house. Because like when you're doing gnomes, you think kind of cottage, so I go that route. But I'm wondering about trying something, I should do something a little more like fun. Okay, I'm scrapping this idea of doing like a cozy cottage bedroom. We're not doing that, okay? So let me look through, find something more like natural. Maybe we can bring more of like the nature inside, that kind of look. Well, I could use these mossy rugs from Snowy Escape to get that like mossy outdoor look. Ooh, what about a stone floor? Oh, I like this one. Yeah, let's go like not realistic with this room. Let's go more outdoorsy themed, like where these mushrooms are growing in here. They're not just placed in here. A moist mushroom room. I don't know why the flooring is like showing through these rugs, like you can see the lines. I don't like that, but I do like this flooring, so I think I'm gonna keep going. We have this pot from the Comfy Gamer kit that has a gnome swatch, so we're definitely gonna use that. We'll add some ivy to the walls, and then we can use this fireplace. I'm gonna try to put these debug mushrooms from Cottage Living on the mantle here, so it's like they're just growing on that piece of wood. I love that. And then we'll just put some on the floor too, because your Sims can just walk through those. And this stump with mushrooms on it, I'll just shrink that down a little bit. It's kind of big. We have mushroom seeds in Cottage Living Debug. I'm not sure where I'm going to put those, but I'm going to get them out because I think I'll put them somewhere in here. Oh, I like these pictures that look like an old castle or estate garden. So I'm going to put this marriage certificate on the wall since this is the master bedroom. These are the parents of the house. So we have this marriage certificate and it's got like the leaves on it, so it looks really nice in here. I'm gonna swap out these end tables for just straight up mushrooms. You can't place stuff directly on this, but if you use the 9 key you can raise it up and now it looks like it's just sitting on the mushroom. I really like this dresser from Vampires. It looks very like castle-y. And then we'll add this log seat down here at the end of the bed. We'll add this mirror from Realm of Magic. There's our mushroom master bedroom. While I was looking for stuff for that room, I found this doormat, so we're gonna put that outside so you know that this house is all about gnomes before you even walk in the door. Okay, moving on to the baby room. This is gonna be our nursery. So we have this gnome that's a baby, I guess. So it really just has the big eyes and looks like it's crying, but that's what it's called. We already used the little play thing that has the gnome hanging from it, so we're gonna have to find new ways to bring gnomes in here. I really like this wallpaper. It's a little cheesy. I never use this like base game baby stuff. Well, I never do babies in The Sims, so we'll put some stuff in here for when they become a toddler too. So we have like the potty, and we can add the little clothes and the gnome cards. So there's a little display of gnome cards. So I just put those on the shelf over there, and that's our blue nursery. So that one's not a heavy gnome theme. There's only so much I can do. Then we have this alien gnome, so I'm gonna do this upstairs bathroom in the theme of alien, I guess. I'm thinking this bathtub looks kind of spacey, futuristic. This shower kind of looks like some kind of weird space pod capsule, right? I don't know. I think it does. I'd like to make this look kind of like the inside of a spaceship. I'm liking this this like green bumpy wallpaper, and then maybe we can have like a metal floor of some kind of like that one. This is like a Trading Spaces bathroom where you tell them that you like space and they're like, oh, I have an idea. For the mirror, I'm just gonna use the base game like floor to ceiling mirrors. If you put 3 of them together, then they overlap and you can't see the seams at all, but if you put 2 side by side, you can still see that. So we have this very like futuristic looking toilet from City Living, so we'll use that. Spaceship toilet, I guess. We have the space kitty picture. We have the alien planter. We have the alien light. I'm gonna use the alien swatch of this abduction light from the Comfy Gamer kit. We have the fossilized alien, and then we have this dead alien thing in a jar. There we go. Alien bathroom. So now we have this like lawn flamingo gnome. So he's riding the flamingo. So because this house has so many rooms, I'm going to do a yoga studio. What I'm thinking for this room is, because we have the gnome riding the lawn flamingo, that we make this room like a lawn, but also flamingo pink. So that's what I'm gonna go for. So let's use this flooring that's actually grass, and then we'll have some pink yoga mat. If I can find things with flamingos on them, I will add them. I found this book while I was looking through swatches for another room. Found that there is a swatch with a flamingo on it. I think there's a flamingo wall art in like high school years or something, but I don't have that one. So I am using this little neon light bird. And then I've got this bird bath. So we're going to have a pink bird bath. This little Dharma thing, it has a swatch that's like a pink bird. We'll use the pink giraffes. So it makes you feel like you're outside doing yoga. Not really. It's actually kind of a weird room, weird vibe. I don't know that I'd really want to do yoga in here, but there we go. I did not realize until I had that yoga mat out and that pillow out at the same time that the pillow is like pizza slices too. It never occurred to me. Ooh, let's use this base game like martini lamp. I don't think there's a lot of good uses for it, but I feel like it kind of works here. Different color though. That one's too eerie. And then I have this decor to the max wall art. And maybe we can just make an arch out of the lights from Businesses and Hobbies. We'll do these hanging lanterns as well. And there we have it. There's our flamingo gnome, lawn flamingo gnome themed yoga room. So for this kids room over here, we have the bear gnome. We have 3 swatches. We have a polar bear, panda, and then a brown bear. So I'm going to incorporate all of those in here because we have so many bear items and a lot of them come in all 3 of those swatches or like have different bears. So I really want to include as many different bears as possible. We'll use the bed with the trees on it in here. This is the single version of the one I was going to use in the bedroom before. We have a polar bear chair, panda bear shelf. There's a teddy bear on this toy chest. We have Blarfy, of course. The poster is a molar bear poster, so we're gonna have that in here. We'll use the cloud lamp, and then we have the measuring, what do you call that? The height chart. We have the bear height chart there. And then because this sleeping bag comes in this adorable little polar bear swatch, we're gonna have that on the floor, like just maybe for when they have friends over. We'll find a place to put it. I'm not sure where yet. As far as bear rugs, I actually can't really find much except for this one, which is more baby-like, but it does have a bear on it. It has other animals too, but I think it works. And I think this is one of the few uses for this furniture from the My First Pet kit. It's really deep, like it's really big, so it actually works out pretty nicely along this wall because I can shove it into the wall pretty far because behind it is a roof, so it doesn't stick out into anything important. And actually, I kind of like this rug that just has some paw prints on it, but we'll still use that other one over here in the little like reading nook. And then we've got the panda light over by the bed. We'll just put as many bear things as we can up on this shelf, and then also just some kid stuff. So we have the like bear carving, and then there's also like a little baby toy that's a bear. We have a bear hamper. We have the cardboard bear that it looks like your kid like made a horse for their bear. We've got a bear trash can, just bears all around. Just bear with me. I know you loved that. Okay, let's do our hallway. So we have this gnome that's just like holding up his mustache. So I'm kind of going for a mustache theme as much as I can. The only thing I can think of that is a clear mustache item is this fossilized mustache. But I did change the swatch, so we're gonna go more for this like orange, yellow, green look instead of the teal and red. So I'm thinking this pastel pop wallpaper because we have like the green on the bottom and then like the pink on the top. We have this gnome graffiti art. It's kind of scary. So I guess we'll just put that in the corner here. I feel like I have to incorporate it somewhere. Oh, I forgot I was gonna put more of the gnome artwork in this kid's room. Let me throw that in here. And then we have this orange and yellow rug, which works pretty well for this color scheme. I've added lots of paintings of people with mustaches. Maybe we can just add some plants to liven the place up. I forgot that I have an attic, so I do have to put a ladder somewhere in here. All right, so that's our upstairs done, and now we're moving on to the pool area. So we have this gnome that has the floaty, and she's in her bathing suit, or more like an old-fashioned bathing costume, I guess. I like her original swatch. We're gonna go with like white, blue, red, okay? So we're gonna use this white and blue fence. We're gonna use blue and white striped anything we can find. We've got a few blue and white striped umbrella tables, but I like this one. We'll do some red and white chairs. Oh, I forgot about these. I just found these flamingo chairs. I totally forgot about this print. There's a whole set of flamingo furniture in base game, duh. So I'm gonna put that in the flamingo room. Okay, flamingo room is covered. Now, back to the pool. I like the thought of doing like some blue and white tile, but I think that's a little much for up here, but maybe we can just put it in the bottom of the pool, and then maybe we can do a colored deck. I know it looked kind of nice to have the brown wood, but I really want to lean into this gnome theme, so we're gonna go with the red wood. I'm gonna put some towels over here. I always like to put like towels on a table by a pool, even though realistically you'd probably just bring one outside with you. All right, so there's our pool area finished. Our pool gnome has a nice little pool to help people swim in. Now I have to get a little creative with these gnomes, and I'm giving them like little sections of the outside, so you know, just come along for the ride. We have this 15-year anniversary gnome. He's got a tuxedo, black, white, gold. We gotta keep him classy, we gotta keep it fancy, so what I'm thinking is we just have a party area out here for a 15th anniversary party, whether it's for the gnomes, the game, or the marriage of the people who live in this house. Whatever the case, we're having a 15th anniversary party out here. So we're gonna add some of the luxury party stuff, items like this table and this little fountain, and then we can use the new cake where they can jump out of it. Perfect for a celebration. And then we'll add some nice outdoor lighting over here. I love these from City Living. I use these a lot for outdoor lighting. What I'm thinking is I'll just put one of these gnomes on each of the tables as like a centerpiece. They are ready to party, and then we'll blow one up and put him over by the entryway. Let's add a dance floor. I'd like to add a DJ booth as well, since we have a dance floor. This is a party after all. We have this pretty small one that can fit in the corner over here. Perfect. They're going all out. They've got the giant cake, they've got the DJ dance floor. They're ready for their 15th anniversary party. Let's go. We have a gnome riding a chicken, so I'm gonna make a chicken coop area. We have one that matches the gnome. Then from the horse ranch pack, we have this gnome like leaning on this little wagon. So we're gonna make an area that's kind of horse ranchy. After starting this build, I looked up all the gnomes that were in the packs that I have just to make sure I got all of them. I didn't even know this. I learned that some of the gnomes are like sentient in the game and move around and have moods and stuff with seasons. I've never played with gnomes, so I did not know this. So some of them are not, some of them are just like statues. So I think this one is like a statue. Obviously the businesses and hobbies like ceramic one that you make doesn't do anything. And I think the cottage living one with the sunflowers is also just a statue. So living in this house could be a bit of a nightmare, could be kind of fun. You'd have a lot of gnomes to mess with you. I might have to try it. I might have to try playing with all these gnomes. Let me know in the comments if that's something you would want to see, or if you'd rather just see more build videos, because I do enjoy making these. So this guy, he's got a purple shirt and a green vest, so we'll use this purple umbrella table, fire pit with some rustic rocking chairs, a guitar, old-fashioned radio, old-fashioned grill. Very simple. We've added some like farm decorations like the cowplant skull, horseshoe, the wagon wheel, and then we'll add this chicken wall art too. We're kind of blending these two areas together. We're gonna put these giant chicken topiaries out here to go with our chicken area. I mean, I don't really know how else we decorate a chicken coop area outside. Of course, we need some chickens, so here they are. We'll add some chicks and some adult chickens. We're gonna do this chair in green to match his vest, and then this one, and then the guitar actually has like a pinkish purple swatch, so that will go with his shirt. Change all the colors we can to make it match him a little more. We'll do some different sized chickens. Then maybe just a little one by the door, the back door here that goes into our mysterious dining room that you have yet to see. All right, just added a couple trees, and then we have the Grim Reaper gnome, which, surprise, surprise, I'm going to make, drumroll please, a cemetery. So creative, I know. How did I come up with this? I don't even know. Can't even tell you how my magnificent mind works. So, private cemetery for this family. Not sure, but I'm going to use this very ornate fencing from Vampires. We're going to put our gnome up here on a pedestal in the center. Now I'm just adding a few different gravestones around. We've got a horse one, since we do have some horse ranch stuff. Maybe there used to be horses here, and then when the horse died, they were like, you know what, let's get a pool. We'll add a kind of rustic stone path, and then we'll add this extremely ornate Vampire's Gate, too. I'm going to extend this kind of going up here, not with gravestones, but we're going to use some of the vampire statues. We do have the fairy statue, so I mean, this build was technically inspired by the Enchanted by Nature kit, so there's a fairy. And just adding some dead plants around there as well. So there's our gnome cemetery. Now, last but not least, we have an attic for our ghost gnome. So I want this to look pretty bare and unfinished and really just a haunted attic. Oh, you know what? What if we put the organ here? I kind of like that. So we'll add like a little bit, but I don't want it to be like a really great functional room. I'm gonna add the piano picture because I feel like it looks kind of creepy and eerie, especially with the organ here. Hi guys, sorry to interrupt, but this is me from the future editing this video, and I did not notice when making this video that I put the organ halfway through the wall. You can see it sticking out here, you'll see it a bunch on the tour, you'll see it as I'm decorating this attic. So sorry about that, but it was way too late to fix it when I noticed it. Carry on. We're gonna just use these concrete walls. We use the ghost decals and then maybe a little seance circle. Yeah, and then we can use these candles from the paranormal stuff kit and a table. Maybe we can put the crystal here. Let's use some beat up wood flooring. You know, we have these circles that's just like supernatural markings, and they actually come in like every color that these ghost gnomes come in. So I'm just gonna put one underneath each gnome, so it's kind of like that spot like summoned the gnome. We're summoning gnome ghosts up here. Actually, I'm gonna use this rug too. I was gonna keep it simple, but the longer I go with this, the more I like adding this stuff in. So we've got like our seance table, we've got the circle, the candles. Come up here and bring a gnome back to life, I guess, as a ghost. Why don't we add a mantle, and then we can add some creepy stuff to it, like this hand and this light, and then some more candles. Yeah, size that hand up. It's not creepy enough when it's like hand-sized. Oh my gosh, okay. And then I'm gonna add like cracks, spider webs, just make it look kind of abandoned, even though someone is clearly doing some stuff up here. Okay, that turned out better than I expected. So now it's time for the grand tour. Here is our gnome home. Okay, we've got our haunted gnome attic where we are summoning gnomes, bringing them back to life for some reason, and they don't look real happy. So I guess the different colors are like the different colors of ghosts that you can actually have in the game based on how your sim dies. Okay, also I just realized that this fireplace has little things on the sides, which is really cute, and I love that. Didn't even see it when I was placing it there. I've just started at the top, working our way down. We have our mustache gnome hallway. We've got pictures of mustaches. We've got fossilized mustache. Okay, then our master bedroom. We have a mushroom theme. They are really going hard on growing mushrooms in here. I bet it smells lovely and musty in this room. So lots of mushrooms, lots of plants. Over here we have our little blue nursery, our baby gnome themed nursery. I did put the little gnome semi-capsule figure in there from Snowy Escape. And then we have our spaceship-themed bathroom. Does this make you feel like you're in a spaceship? It should. Lots of alien stuff over here. And then, of course, our alien gnome and rocket ship. I think this turned out pretty cute for a gnome-themed house. Here's our lawn flamingo-themed yoga room. We have the flamingo chair after I realized that that was a thing. There's a whole line of those items. Oh no, our lights are going into the ceiling. Okay, let me fix those. But overall, love the feel of this room. Just this, I don't even know, pink flamingo pink, but also like we're in the front yard. Beautiful pink yoga room. Got a couple pink pictures, our little martini lamp. And now we have the bear kids room, our molar bear poster, just bears everywhere. And then I did add the gnome cards here. They're slightly different from the ones in the kitchen, which are vertical, and these ones are horizontal. So we have a panda shelf with a panda on it and a polar bear gnome. Wow, that corner is really stuffed with bears. No pun intended that time, actually. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we have a bear rug, bear chair, bear shelf, bear on the bear shelf, another bear gnome on the bear shelf. We have bear sleeping bag, we have bear rug, we have the, what do you call it, bear on a cardboard horse. We just have lots of bears there. And then when you enter the house, we have this gnome doormat, which is perfect. Gnome doormat. Okay, then you go inside, we got gnomes over here. Perfect. Gnome artwork. Then we have a gnome for your phone and your keys. And then we have the extension of the gnome hallway, giant gnome over here, red and teal kind of color scheme keeps on going through here. The original gnome looks very sad. Sorry, bud. Now you're in a house full of your friends. You should be happy. All right, so over here we have our sunflower gnome living room. So this is the one, I think this one is like not a true gnome in The Sims. It's just like a decoration, but whatever. So we have the yellow flower framed TV. We have a picture over there. You can't even like tell that that's a TV because there's similar pictures all over. And then this playmat that has a gnome hanging from it. Sunflowers. We got flowers on the wall. We've got flowers on the lamp. We've got flowers on the bunny. Yellow flowers everywhere. That's our sunflower gnome living room. Going in here, we have our pink bunny kitchen, kind of an Easter bunny. So we have lots of Easter eggs. I just realized that that Easter egg has a pink bunny on it. It has the freezer bunny on it. Wow, okay. So through here, this is the room that you didn't get to see built. My bad. But we have this captain gnome. So gone with a ship theme. We've got some of the pictures from the cats and dogs pack. And then through here, we have our secret business office. Business gnome. All about business in here. So we've got black and gray and blue color scheme. We've got our suitcase full of cash. We've got our duffel of cash. Very sleek, simple, just a very simple office. And then we have our pixelated gnome bathroom. This is just like it's small, but it's like one of the weirdest rooms I've ever done. I decided to go with the orange towels. The colors on those just weren't great, but I liked that they had the checkered border because it really goes with the pixels. So I kept the orange. It's not the greatest color to represent skin tones. But you know what? The gnome has gray, so that's not really representative either. Going in here, again, very simple, small room, really focusing heavily on creating pottery gnomes in here, creating ceramic gnomes. So we've got some artwork. I did go for the raccoon pictures. All right, going outside, we've got creepy statues that tell you might be about to enter a weird, creepy area of the yard. And then I added these candelabras, which looks very creepy for a gnome house. Then we enter the graveyard, and here is our Grim Reaper gnome. Wow, okay. I did not realize that his eyes glowed. That's creepy. But you know what? Really just adds to the ambiance of the cemetery gnome. All right, then we have our chicken coop area. So we've got the gnome riding the chicken, and we've got our chicken topiaries, and of course, chickens. And then we've got a couple of those chickens by the door too, and then one on the wall over here on the side of the house. Then we have our little horse ranch cookout area, very different from our fancy 15th anniversary party area. We have the fancy people over here, and then we have the hillbillies next door. So table full of desserts, the big cake that someone can pop out of, and then we have our pool area. So this is our blue and white striped with a little bit of red themed pool. So there we go, perfect area for our gnome to swim, or I guess watch your Sims swim. There's our gnome themed house. That is the end. Forgot a mailbox. I'm gonna shove one out here. I forgot a trash can. I am just going to stick it in the back. There is no more of this video. I'm gonna lose the few subscribers that I do have if I keep making puns in my videos, but I can't help it, okay? Let me know in the comments which room or outdoor area was your favorite, and please subscribe if you don't already so you can get notified when I make new videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!